All right, Zoom has, good afternoon if you just joined. Zoom has been acting up today. So if not only is it kicking you guys out, sometimes today it kicked me out. So if it kicks me out, don't leave. Get back as fast as possible. And I say that because sometimes when I share, uh, especially the gizmo, it does log me out. So hang in there with me, don't go nowhere. I'll be back as quickly as possible if that happens. All right, so sharing. Oh, we're already there. All right, let me get this screen up. All right, so you're in Canvas. Yesterday we did the test. So if you didn't do the test yesterday, I need to know. Everybody's test should have been submitted. Yes, it did kick you out. When we do lock screen, it did make sure that you're not logged into anything else. Um, Most of you did very, very well. All right, so I need you. So right, the previous assignment. So if you're in Canvas, we're in the unit with the macromolecules. So right after the test assignment in the module, you'll see um, the lab assignment. So I need you to folks hang in there with me because we got to go to a different website to do this assignment. So the first thing I need you to do, as soon as this comes back, there we go. All right, is to download the worksheet. So if you didn't, I mentioned this yesterday. So if you haven't already done that, download the worksheet because this is the thing you're going to have to fill out the worksheet and send it back to me in the Dropbox. So let's do step number one is to download the worksheet. And I will say this again because like I said, we're missing about 5 or 6 people. Here comes one. All right, mine is taking a minute to download, but hopefully yours isn't going to take as long as mine. And we'll do and look it over. One of the things when you do a lab is to always read the instructions first. So download the worksheet. So mine will be up in a few. Still letting people in. All right, mine is up. All righty. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. If you just joined, biology. We are going to do a lab today. So I don't want to close it because then it might not come back. But you want to go to the title is, oh my goodness, let's see, can I do this? Is Nutrition Virtual Lab Gizmo. That's the next thing in your Canvas folder for macromolecules. So open that up. It says what's locked? The assignment, meaning I didn't put the right date on it. Okay, hold on. Oh, I didn't fix it for you guys. Okay, give me a second to fix it. It has, because I opened it for both my classes, and your class starts today. Okay, there we go. Easy fix. And that might mean that you need to refresh your page. There we are. All right, so it's open today. So check on that. All right, so and you're looking for Nutrient Virtual Lab. Let me look at this as a student to make sure you got it. There we go. All right, so for you, it'll look like that. All right, and I need you everybody to follow along with me. Don't just log in and take a walk, as some of you do. Because from here, we need to go to a website. All right, so start by clicking on this download here and bring up the worksheet. So then you need to download the worksheet because that's where your answers are going to go. Okay. All right, is everybody in now? So yeah, when I copied the assignment to both classes, their class is Friday, yours is today. Okay, so it should be unlocked now. All right, so I'll give a few minutes. Hopefully, as some of you might have downloaded it yesterday because well, I guess you couldn't because it was locked. But I did show it to you yesterday. All right, so we've been looking at macromolecules, proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, and nucleic acids. So this is a lab activity, and we do our labs in the Gizmo program. And since we are a science class and we need to have some lab experience. All right, so what you need to do after that, you need to go to your Clever resources. And you have a app that says Explore Learning. It's nice orange EL app. So go there. Hold on, somebody's coming, so I'll stop here for a moment. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, Zanaya, we're in Canvas, and I'm going to back up just a little bit. All right, we're in Canvas. We're here in Canvas. We're going to do a lab today. So once you get here, there's a worksheet that you have to download. All right. And again, those of you who logged in just for logging in sake and you're not with me, you need to be with me. Download the worksheet. Those are your instructions. You're going to do what the worksheet tells you to do, but you're going to use the website to do it. All right. In Clever, you're going to find that that app that says Explore Learning. When you click on it, it should take you to the Gizmo, but for you, it should log you right into the assignment that has been assigned to you. Okay, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. Like I said, for you, it should take you right to, all right, yours should look like this. Okay. Everybody has been given access, so I need to know if you can access it. I think I got everybody who was new. All right, again, you need to be following along. Got some of you off camera, some of you are looking at your ceiling fan. If you don't follow, you won't know what to do. Some of you have done gizmos before, but if this is your first time, you need to know what to do. It is a virtual lab, which means that there's some things you need to move around. Once you click on the assignment, then you want to launch it. All right, and then you have the activity screen in front of you. And then there's an assessment that you'll take when you're finished. Don't take it now, take it when you're finished because you have to get the information from the lab in order to do the quiz. The quiz is part of your grade. So there's 5 points for doing the quiz, and the quiz grade is marked in the Gizmo program. So you don't have to tell me that what your grade is. I'll see it on my Gizmo grade book. All right. All right. I was supposed to, my Instructions didn't print, but this is what you want to do. Follow the directions. So it says most food is composed of 3 macromolecules: carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Carbohydrates, such as starches and sugars, are a major source of energy. Simple sugars are found in sweets and fruit. Starches are found in potatoes, cereal, pasta, flour, and other plant products. Excuse me. Proteins are used in the body, such as muscle, skin, hair. Rich sources of proteins are meats, dairy. You don't need to sign up for the Gizmo. You should already be in there. Um, hold on, I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute. Oops, she got kicked out. All right, you're back. All right, okay, you're back. All right, so um, yeah, let me stop sharing for a minute. Oh, actually, I'm not going to stop sharing for me. Y'all are going to see Go Guardian for a minute. I'm going to be looking to see that everybody's in um in the program. That's what I'm looking to see. Everybody in Gizmo. Well, Evan, right now you're logged in, but you ain't doing it. All right. All right. So everybody's like Chance and uh Seriana. Am I saying your name right? Seriana? Y'all are in the right place. You're logged into the Gizmo. So I want to see everybody logged into the Gizmo. You don't need to sign up. You're already registered. You need to go to Clever. It should be an orange tab. It will be an orange tab. It says EL. Because you're a student, you're already enrolled. Yeah, it should look like that. And once you click on it, you shouldn't have to put anything else on there. All right. All right, like Justin just did. So it should look, and Justin, I'm using you as an example because I see yours is going right. Everybody on my class roll is already enlisted. All right, Justin, did yours just get stopped? Because it should tell you, it should have assigned you one for biology. Okay, let me check on that. If it tells you to sign in, let me see what yours is saying. Oh, you're already in. Launch. All right, you're already in. That's the lab you should be doing. All right, don't go away. Oh yeah, now download the worksheet. All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Those of you who just came late, we are trying to make sure everybody can get in to the lab. All right, you're in. So yes, I should see everybody just get to the lab page. 'Cause right now I'm not seeing everybody on the lab page yet. If you just came in, you want to go to Explore Learning. All right, right now I want you to pay attention to this and you can finish the test later. Because I don't want to have to explain this again. All right, so everybody needs to um, find Explore Learning. Those of you who just came in, Explore Learning, Explore Learning. You need to click on that app and then once you get in, your lab should look like that. Okay. All right, and Corinne, you might have to come to tutorial tomorrow to finish that test because I need you to work with me today while I demonstrate how to do this lab. All right, so again, you have downloaded the worksheet and gave you some background information that on the three substances, because you're going to be testing for these food substances, carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. So they give you some background information about that. And then over here, they ask you to look at these foods, and you need to write on the line on your worksheet whether you think that that food is a carbohydrate, a lipid, a protein, or neither. Okay, for example, water doesn't have carbohydrate. Water is going to be none because it does not have a carbohydrate, protein, or lipid in it. It's just water. All right, so fill that in, but follow with me so I can. So we've all got the gizmo ready. Are we all ready in the gizmo? All right, I'm going to check one more time. See if everybody's there. Okay, Katie and Caden and all right, there you go. Cadence, Montreal, are you there? All right. Okay. Where'd she go? Did she get kicked out again? Uh, yeah, folks, it's hard to keep up with people who are the Zoom is just wonderful. It's kicking folks in and out because she was here. All right, the only person who was not here maybe is AJ. But everybody else, I should be looking at your screen. It should look like Katie and Cadence and Montreal and all right, Evan, you're not where you need to be. All right, there you go. I need to be able to see. Damien, are you able to? What is it? Curiosity channel. Everybody should say identifying nutrients gizmo. That's what I want to see underneath your name. Identifying, and then I'm going to walk you through what you need to do. All right, Zanaya, how you doing? Do you not have the app? What is that saying to me? Site can't be reached. Can you refresh your page? All right, are you in Clever and you're clicking on that little orange thingy there?
I tried doing it like 3 times. It's like the same thing, and the page can't load.
Okay, I'm going to send a message to see if I can't get you unblocked. But in the meantime, follow along with me. All right, I see a couple of folks who are not there, but I'm going to go on and tell you what to do anyway, because I need to move on. Because this is a lot to do, and I need to help you do it right. All right, where am I? I'm over here. Okay. So the instructions. So after you do that first part, they want you to perform a test. So it tells you that the Benedict test is the test for monosaccharides. This means monosaccharides, know your vocabulary, means that it is a one unit sugar, like glucose or fructose. So they want you to test sample A. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to take sample A and you're going to drag it and put it in the test tube holder. All right, everybody watching? I just took sample A from over here and I dragged it and I put it in the test tube holder. Then it said Benedict is what we're going to use to test it. So we're going to actually, all right, we're going to sample A. We're going to put some sample A in there. No. All right, put it back over there. And then we're going to click on, okay, there you go. You click on the tests and it's going to put a few drops in. So it took something from sample A It took something from the Benedict solution and then it moved it over to the heating solution and then it brought it back. Okay, I'm going to reset and show you what it just did. We took sample A, we put it over here. Then we want to test, it wants you to test the Benedict solution. So you click on that and it'll automatically do it for you. And all you have to do is write down the results. So they put some sample, a few drops of sample A in the test tube, a few drops of Benedict solution in the test tube. They put it in the hot water bath, heated it up, and it went from blue to orange. Okay. All right. So back on your worksheet, does sample A contain, so you got a, the Benedict solution turns from blue to green to orange. Did it do that? You want to say, yes, it did. So that means it is a monosaccharide. You want to do the same thing, and this is practice. It says the Lugol test uses iodine to test for starch. Starch is a polysaccharide, which means it's got multiple units to it. The iodine will turn dark purple in the presence of starch. So we want to we have sample A. We want to test this one. And it's automatically going to put the Lugol in. And it didn't change. Okay. Switching back and forth. All right. You're going to have to type on your worksheet, you all have to download it and save it as a doc. I believe that's how it works for you all. Can somebody help me with that? How do you all type on the worksheet? I believe it's when you download it, you have to save as. And somebody says you can also put it in Kami. So Kami, yes, that's the other way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you put it in Kami, it'll allow you to write on it. Okay. All right, go to Docs. When you go to Docs, page, so you insert and insert it. There you go. Thank you. Y'all are so helpful. Okay. All right. Okay. And all right. So what you're going to do, like I said, is you're going to do. So we did the Lugol test. Does sample A contain starch? Well, it didn't. We were looking for it to turn a dark purple, and it did not do that. So sample A does not have starch in it. All right. The Biuret test solution for potassium hydroxide and copper sulfate to test for proteins. The Biuret solution will turn purple when the proteins are present. So we want to look at sample A. And right now we're just practicing, so we still have sample A. And we are going to click on the Biuret test, and it's going to put some samples, drops of sample A in there, and it's going to put some Biuret in there. And we're looking for that to turn, what color are we looking for to turn purple? And it did not do that. So again, we want to say nope. There's no proteins in sample A. All right, last one, we want Sudan red uses a fat-soluble dye to indicate the presence of lipids. If the lipids are present, the dye will be absorbed and it will appear in concentrated spots of color in the test tube. No spots indicates the lipids are not present. Okay, so it's telling you what to look for. All right, so let's come back. And we're still doing sample A, but this time we're testing for lipids. And it should get spotty, and it didn't. Okay. All right, she's back. All right, folks. Yeah, I'm trying to be aware of when Zoom kicks you out, but sometimes because I'm talking, I don't quite catch it. But hopefully when you get your new Chromebooks next week, it'll stop kicking you in and out and everybody will be good. All right, so you come back to the worksheet and again, it says it did not, sample A does not contain lipids because you didn't get that. You were looking to find concentrated spots and you did not, it did not do that. There she is. All right, so when it says summarize, that means go through all of your answers 1 through 4 and determine which one had a positive test. And that would have been sample A, the test for with the Benedict solution for monosaccharides was a positive test. So you want to say that the nutrient in sample A is a monosaccharide because that's the only one of the 4 tests that you got a positive result for. Okay. All right. And then you want to, what kind of food sample do you think it most likely was? So that, go back to where you decided up here, which foods most likely have sugars in them, which ones had proteins, which ones had fats. So look at which ones are starch. So those are the 4 things that we're testing for. We're testing for starch. So there's a difference between sugar and starch. We're testing for, let me get back over here. We're testing for sugar with Benedict, starch with Lugol, proteins with Biuret, and lipids with the Sudan Red. Those are the things that we're testing for. Okay, so that's what and it'll always tell you if you need to go back to your worksheet, it'll always tell you what results you should have been looking for. So up here, it tells you if it turns blue because the solution is blue to start with. So if it goes from blue to green to orange, and notice with that one, we had to heat it up. That was the only one we heated up. Then it's a monosaccharide. If we use iodine and it turns purple or dark color, then starch is present. That was with the Lugol test. If we put Biuret solution in it, and the Biuret solution is kind of bluish too, and we put that in and it turns purple, then proteins are present. If we put the Sudan Red in and it is reddish, so if it starts spotting up within the solution, then lipids are present. So that's your key. All right. So now you want to follow and answer the rest of the questions on the paper. So I'm going to let you do that. So these are your instructions. Do what it tells you to do, manipulate and when you need to reset, just reset like that. So you'll be dragging the test tube into place. So it tells you which test tube to drag, and you'll be clicking on the test as it tells you to do so. And again, notice the Benedict is the only one. So it's always going to take some of the sample. You got to do the sample first, and then it's going to take some of the solution. And the Benedict's one is the only one that they had to heat in a hot water bath. Okay, notice this one didn't change. And this up here is your indicator too. They started off blue. So always note where you started from. What color did you start with? And then you know what color you end up with. So all of these samples kind of start off bluish looking. And then you have all these different color solutions to put in. Note it went from this color to that color. That's how you need to answer your question. Okay? All right. Any questions right now before I stop talking and let you have at it? Okay, everybody's gizmo is working except where's Zanaya? Zanaya, I'm going to send in a work order on yours in just a second. I do have you on so you are in the gizmo because I have you on roll there, but it might be that they did not activate it for you on your end. So let me check on that. Okay. Everybody else is good? Okay. All right. Don't leave any blank spaces. Take your time. So we'll still be working on this for a little while. Definitely all class period, maybe a little bit of the next, because it is quite lengthy. When you are done with the whole lab, then if you let me scoot the picture up, there is a quiz. So make sure you go back and answer the 5-question assessment, but don't try to do it now because you'll get it wrong. The 5-question is part of the grade. Okay. So make sure that you go in and then it will give me a score. You don't have to tell me what the score is. All right, let's stop sharing and let's see what we do. First, let me see if there's something I can do. All right, so Zanaya, you're not seeing the website, right? It is not allowing you on the website at all. Yes, for the foods, you can write more than one. Chase, yes. Okay. All right. Let's see, let's see, let's see. All right, you have it. Okay. Yeah. I say the site, and then when you click on the reload button, it doesn't reload it for you. Okay. I am going to put that in as a work order. Okay. Um, okay. Let me come back and share because I got a few folks with some questions. So let me share again. Okay. First of all, those of you who are totally confused, do you have your worksheet downloaded? Because the worksheet are the instructions. You are going to do exactly what the work, so that you might want to do split screen so that you're not jumping back and forth. But you need to have this works. These are your instructions. The website doesn't tell you what to do. The worksheet tells you what to do. So we just did the sample activity. We sampled sample A and so we did exactly what it said to do. And how we're doing this is you've got to drag the test. So let me reset this. All right. All right. So the two folks who said I'm totally confused, come on back with me. All right. You with me now? Just nod your head up and down. I'll see you. Okay. All right. So they want you to test sample A. So we're going to pick sample A test tube up and we're going to drag it to the test tube holder. And then the first thing it wanted you to test was the Benedict solution. So down here, we're testing for carbohydrates. That's what that is the test for. So we want to click on test and just sit back and watch to see what happens. All right, so what we want to notice is that it went from being blue to ended up orange. So if we come back to the worksheet, it tells you that the positive test for monosaccharides, which is sugars or carbohydrates, is that the Benedict solution, which was also blue, will turn from blue to orange. And it did that. Okay, so we got an orange is the result that we got. So on your worksheet, you wanted to say, the question is, does sample A contain monosaccharides? Yes, because it turned orange. Okay, that's what you want to write in that box. All right, so if it was a disaccharide, if it was a complex sugar, it would not have turned orange because that's different. All right, now complex sugars can be tested with something else. And then starches are polysaccharides. Starches are big sugar molecules that are slightly different than the simple sugars. But when you digest a polysaccharide, it becomes a sugar. But to test for the presence of starch, we're going to use iodine, and it's going to go from dark purple. It's going to turn dark purple in the presence of starch. So we're still testing sample A. So we're going to leave that right there. But now we're going to use this, which is orange. So we're taking, note that sample A is blue, and then we're going to test sample A. So it's going to take a few drops of sample A, then it takes a few drops of the testing solution, and we wanted it to turn a dark purple, and it did not. So we're on the worksheet. For here, it says, does sample A contain starch? No, because it didn't turn purple. All right, everybody got that? All right, the next thing we want to test is, we're still looking at sample A, but now we want to test for the presence of protein. Okay, so we're going to use the Biuret solution, and it's going to turn purple in the presence of protein. So we have a different solution. All right, so we're still testing sample A, but now we're using the Biuret test, and we're testing for proteins. So again, what we want to know is, in this solution, are there any proteins present? And here again, it stayed blue. It didn't change. And even though the Biuret is also blue, it was supposed to turn purple if proteins were present, and it didn't do that. So over here, does it contain proteins? No, it does not, because it did not turn purple. All right, and the last one, we're still testing sample A, but now we're testing for the presence of lipids. So we're going to put this Sudan red in the solution. It says it will appear as concentrated spots of color in the test tube. No spots, no lipids. All right, so we're going to do that, still sample A, but we're going to click on this last one. Put some A in there. Notice this one started off red, and it just turned red, but it's not spotted. Okay. All right, there are no little spots in there. So what we want to say on our worksheet is, no, it did not contain lipids. Over here, the only one, for summary, the only one we got a positive test for was A. So so since that's so A must contain monosaccharides. That's what you want. You want to say the whole thing. We only got a positive test for monosaccharides for test tube A. Thing that has simple sugars in it would be our apple juice. So you can circle this or highlight it, however you want to indicate the answer to that question. All right. Okay. All right, so after that, you want to hit the reset button, come back up here, reset, and notice it cleared all the test tubes and it put A back in its place. And then it's giving you so it's giving you a scenario of what's going on. So this scenario is going to dictate what's happening with the rest of the lab. Okay. And then you want to follow these directions. You're going to put the results. So you're going to test all of these, test tube B, F, H, I, and M. And then for each one, so it's like, for example, you're going to take B, drag it over here, and then you're going to do all the tests for B, and you're going to come back to your worksheet and put you can put a plus or minus. Did you get the color change you were looking for B? And then decide, and then you just have to say yes or no as far as, so over here you're saying yes, it changed color. Over here you're saying it has whatever food substance. Because of the plus or minus on that side, you're going to say yes or no on the other. Okay, makes sense? Okay. All right, and then they want you to kind of guess what these folks are eating and who's messing up in the lab. All right. Okay. Now, like I said, it takes a little while only because you got to test all these test tubes. But you're basically doing the same thing over and over for each sample. And then you can decide what these folks are eating and then come up with your summary. When you finish your summary answers on the worksheet, you can submit the worksheet to the folder in Canvas and then go back and the questions for the assessment are underneath the lab. But do that last. Do that. Nobody should be taking the test now. Everybody should be doing the lab. Okay? And again, if you get stuck, you're confused, still ask questions. But the plus or minus is, did you were looking for that indicates the presence or absence of that nutrient? All right. And Sanaya, I'm sorry. Got you just sitting there waiting on me. Let me send this message again. All right, let me, because you can't get in. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. And there were a couple of you who weren't logged in and weren't following along, so I don't want to hear later on that I couldn't do it because you weren't working with me. And right now, I am trying to solve a problem, and you should have been in this if. Mm. And yours is saying this page cannot be found, right? Sanaya? It keeps telling you this page cannot be found. Okay. This page. All right. I sent the message. In the meantime, I don't know what stick I can give you to do. If you have something for another class that you can work on, you can go ahead and work on it until I get a message back. That's all I can tell you right now. All right, we are going to do cells next. And so I have just opened that unit up. Okay. Okay, the chart. So let me pull that back up. With that chart, give me 1 second. All right, Zanaya, it said, you know how to clear your cache and cookies? Do you know how to do that? I don't know how to tell you how to do that either. All right, he said the other thing, if that doesn't work, let me give you a direct link. So let me try that instead, because I can't tell you how to do this. Oh, okay, hold on 1 second. Let's see if this works. Copy. All right, give me 1 second, then I'll come back and help you with the chart, folks. All right, so now I just sent the link in the chat for that you can use to get directly there instead of going through Explore Learnings. Let me know if that works.
What do I put for my username? Is it like the GTID number? Or
Your student ID. Try that first. If that doesn't work, okay, let me look up and look on my roll and get you my class. This is you. That's not how I want to do them. Manage my students. Let's see. Okay. Your ID number, let me do it this way. Come on, let me copy. Okay. All right, I'm putting this in the chat for you. Okay. All right. So I think what you need to put in that space would be the username, which is going to be that 6D2AWAT. Try that one.
what's the number?
I sent it to you in the chat.
Uh,
So you've got an ID number and then you've got a password. Try. Well, try this ID number first. See what that does. All right, but somebody asked me about the chart. So with the chart, you're going to put a plus sign if you got a positive result and a negative sign if you did not get the result. You're going to you take the sample and test it with all of the 4 substances. All right, then you have a password number. Sorry, I'm talking both of you at the same time. You're going to test all 4 substances for each test tube and put a plus or minus, just whether or not you get a positive or negative result. And then on the other side, your positive and negative results should tell you whether there's a carbohydrate in there or a lipid in there, protein. Oh, that's not working either. Okay. My dear. Okay. Let's see. All right, clear that out because you are logging in as a student. I did get... What else can I tell you? Because you shouldn't be logging in as me. You are in the system as you. Everybody in the school is logged in with their own ID number. My dear, I'm gonna have to ask him again. All right. To do the first thing he asked you to do to clear your cache and cookies, you want to go to all right, I'm going to share for a minute. And yours might be a little different because you have Chromebooks. I can show you how I can get to it from mine. Come on. Okay. When you go up here in the corner, you've got those three little dots. When you click on that, I think it comes under delete browsing. Okay, and then you're going to get this one here like that. And I don't want to. So I'm going to take that off and I'm going to leave those two. Okay. So this is what he's saying. He says, delete your cookies in cache. And so if you get a box like that, once you just leave those two boxes, then you can say delete data and that will clear those out. I probably need to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. That might help speed up my computer too. Okay. And this takes a few minutes because it's got a lot of stuff to go through. And when it's done, it'll come back to your regular screen. All right, so what he's saying is if after you do that, refresh your page and then see if you can't get, because there you are, you're in and you have access. So you should be able to get in. So come back to this page and see if you can get in. Oh, and I need to do attendance before y'all run off on me. Okay, I think AJ was the only person. What? I don't want to be there. Wow. I'm trying to do attendance and now it's telling me page cannot be found. That's interesting. Hmm. I wonder what I cleared out that I shouldn't have cleared out. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, now it kicked. Oh, I shouldn't have did that because now it kicked me out of the gizmo. Hmm. I'm surprised it didn't kick me out of Zoom. All right, let's see. Let's see. It kicked me out of Go Guardian. Ah, all right, I'm gonna leave everything alone for. All right, it's almost time to go. We got like a minute left to class. So we'll continue this next class. Tonight I'm gonna keep on following up on this, but what I did when I cleared everything, it cleared me out of everything that I was already logged into. So I kind of got to start all over again myself. All right. Like I said, I'm surprised it didn't kick me